Hey, what's up guys? It's been a while since my last video. I haven't been playing for the past month or so. I had finals, which took a lot of time. I didn't really play too much. And then I just also was getting a little bored of the league. Although I do have a lot of progress since my last video. Of the time that I have been playing since my last video, it's been pretty much all on the Trailblazer League. So since last video, I have been working on skilling. I actually ended up maxing this time around. That was one of the major goals I had for this league, was to max my total level. It wasn't too hard with all of the relics that we had, along with all the areas that we could unlock. So a lot of good training methods were available, unlike with the Twisted League. So while playing, I was sitting around pretty close to Dragon Tier for most of the time, sometimes falling beneath it, sometimes being above it. But eventually it got to a point I was sitting at 44,000 points, and I believe Dragon Tier was like 46,000 points at that point, and we still had weeks and weeks to go, and I figured you'd probably need at least 55,000, if not more points to get Dragon Tier in the end. And I had written down every single task that I would be willing to do, and even including all of those tasks, it only came out to I think it was 53 or maybe 54,000 points, which is less than what I was expecting you would need to get into Dragon Tier. So at that point I decided that I wasn't going to spend the time to try and get into Dragon Tier, because it was going to require a lot of time, and a lot of that time doing things that I just didn't find fun, things I didn't want to do. That is one of the downsides of this league this time, was the lack of tasks. There weren't that many. If you wanted to have any chance of getting a high tier, you had to do tasks pretty much that you did not find fun. So I did end up maxing, and then I started going for 25 mil all, and I was actually making some pretty good progress towards that before I quit. As far as PVM, I did Rune Dragons. I got a Draconic Visage, and I got Dragon Limbs. I did the Abyssal Sire, and I got, I think, like 5 Unsireds. From those, I got some Bludgeon Pieces, the Abyssal Dagger, and a Jar. I actually did my first ever Theater of Bloods. I never completed one before the league, so that's kind of surprising. It was a lot easier than I was expecting, and I ended up getting a rare item as well, an Invernic Hilt. Unfortunately, I couldn't actually do anything with the hilt because I didn't pick Asgarnia. I got a Ring of Endurance off the Sepulchre. I ended up getting all my Zenites for the Zenite Jewelry. I didn't actually make them all because I didn't have the money for all the Onyx until the end, and that's when I quit, so I didn't actually end up making those. After I maxed, I went and checked my playtime, and I had 30 days, 4 hours, and 5 minutes. That is counting both the Twisted League and this league as well. I would guess that I probably played 20 days of that is in the Twisted League, and probably like 10 days of that is for this league. If I would have known that it combines the two, I would have checked that at the beginning of this league, so then we could have had an accurate time for how much I played this league. So when the third league rolls around, I will definitely get an accurate amount of time that I play that league. In the end, when I quit the league, I had 33 days, 8 hours, 44 minutes. To do the tasks that would have gotten me to 53 or 54k points that I had written down probably would have taken about 40 hours. And then to get the extra points to get into Dragon Tier, I believe it was 56,000 in the end to get into Dragon Tier. So to get those last few points, it probably would have taken about 30 to 40 hours. So assuming that I did spend 20 days in the Twisted League, that would put me at pretty close to 20 days for this league as well. And last league, I was very close to Dragon Tier. So that would mean it's probably about, you can expect to have to put in about 20 days of playtime in order to get into Dragon Tier. Although, of course, for the Twisted League, it was 3 months, whereas this one's only 2 months. So that means this one would have been harder to actually get into Dragon Tier because we had less time to put in those 20 days. For Twisted League, that is about 5.5 hours a day, and this league, it would have been about 8 hours a day. So in the future, of course, it can change depending on what tasks they put in, how many people want to play, the interest in the league. But I would imagine it's probably going to stay pretty close to about that. You can expect about 20 days playtime to get into Dragon Tier for a 2 to 3 month league. So my thoughts on this league, I thought the idea was really cool. Having the map split into different areas and you have to only pick some of those areas, that's a pretty interesting and fun idea. I think they could rerun this league with just a few minor changes, and it would feel pretty new and pretty fun. I kind of worry that if they think they have to have this unique of an idea every single league, they're going to run out of ideas really quickly. So while I do believe the idea for this one was really cool, I don't expect them to have this unique of an idea every single league, and I hope they aren't putting that expectation on themselves. I feel like the length of time it ran for was a very reasonable and good amount of time for it to run for. I thought the relics were pretty cool. The combat relics, where you had to kind of pick a class, was a pretty cool, pretty interesting, unique idea for RuneScape, something that you normally don't have to do in this game, since you can do every combat style in the game. The teleportation relics were pretty cool. The one that lets you teleport to the last place that you teleported from. Very interesting, very cool. So overall, I believe this league was a great success, very well done, very fun. Some of the downsides though, the task system, more tasks. I don't know if I'm a fan of the 25 mil cutoff for XP. Yeah, I can't really say too much because there's a lot of thought that has to go into it so that it's balanced correctly. I just feel like I was forced to do a lot of tasks that I didn't want to do. There's other things I would have preferred to be doing in the game. If those could have been giving me points, that would have been nice. But a lot of the things I enjoyed doing, skilling, it was cut off what felt like pretty quickly. And then even for a lot of bosses, I feel like there was a pretty quick cutoff point. Like if that's a boss that you love to do and you really enjoy doing, and you don't mind camping that boss or whatever for a lot of kills, thousands of kills, when the league requires, 55,000 points to get Dragon Tier, and you can only get 500 points or 1,000 points from that boss that you really enjoy, it's a bit annoying how much you're kind of forced to play the entire game. So I almost feel like saying that there shouldn't be a cap, like there's continually more point rewards the further you go up, and kill counts and that sort of thing, or XP up to 200 mil. I haven't put the thought into really think if that's balanced or not, so that may not be a good way to go, but I just feel like you're forced to play like all of the content in the game. Really, that's the only big problem that I had with it. I'm just gonna go ahead and mention, like I did last league, that I would like to see a non-Ironman league. Also, the whole world opened up. I mean, it could still be fun. The reason for non-Ironman, I don't have a clan, so I'm not gonna benefit from it. The reason for me that I would like to see that is because Ironman, just like I was talking about before, kind of forces you to play the entire game. You can't just focus in on a certain point that you enjoy. But of course, I will end up playing probably any league that they put out, whether it's Ironman or not.